Hey everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Saturday, Mosh Pit. Hope your weekends, the first weekend of 2026, has been going awesome for you. We are waiting for another video to cross 2,000 likes here. Again, a couple, as I said yesterday, a couple of them are very, very close. I'm keeping an eye on them, but if we don't get any movement after this weekend and the videos post and that sort of thing, we'll probably switch it up and go for something else. Thank you all very much for the support, as always. Here's your meme of the day. This is a new one here, brought to you by Sky Moogle on the Invicta subreddit. Title of the thread was Omegon. Omegon? Yeah, I think it was Omegon Run. Invicta wanting to do an Omega Run. I took that personally. Yeah, there were a lot of comments on that one. Couple threads posted. This happens. C-Day is going to be passe ouds. We got the Eternal D Sizzle. Good Tears rate to start off with. Good movement speed and good damage. Wow. And good shot speed too. Did I say shot speed? Yeah. This is a far cry from what we've been dealing with for the start of really the end of December and the beginning of January here. And when oh mama. All right. Okay, we'll take Cricket's body. We're gonna be able to get another soul heart here too, which means we're going to be able to tap this and go on from there. So wild start here with Cricket's body. That's going to give us a huge tears up. Well, not really a huge tears up, but it's going to remove the tears cap for a while. There's a pretty significant tears cap razor, and on top of that, with the splash damage, it's very, very good, especially if you get something like Jacob's Ladder. I think that's one of the top tier. Other than Aya Belial, you're going to be in heaven. Damage is gonna be really, really easy to come by. We also start off with Placenta, which is where we just got that red heart. Excuse me, back as well. And the Eternal D6, we'll just have to see where January lies in terms of our luck. I'm gonna bomb this here because there's a good chance we get something back out of it, like those 2 bombs and two pennies out of there. The Eternal D6 is great sometimes, other times it's not. When it's great, it's one of the best spacebar items in the entire game because it's only got a two room cooldown and also allows us to have the D6 effect. It rerolls the item pedestals, all item pedestals in the room. When it's not good, it consumes all the item pedestals, or at least some of them, and you never get them back. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but I think that on a 2-room cooldown, especially when we're dealing with, like, say, an item I really truly don't care about or don't want, it's definitely worth it. Like this orbital, for example, here. And yeah, there you go. We're going last week's question of the episode here, coming in from DJ Slacks. Great name, by the way. Who said, question of the episode, what would you say is a deceptively easy boss and deceptively hard boss in Isaac, excluding main bosses and story bosses? So I think that, well, first off, we need to get a full charge before we even go into that library. Secondly, as far as deceptively easy boss, I think that honestly, this is going to come off as this might be a little controversial, but I actually think that Bloat is not as bad as some people describe him. He's annoying, yes, but he's really not all that tough if your dodging is on point and you know how the tiers work whenever he jumps and do the multi-directional tiers. That stuff, to me, is not too bad. I realize the meme, and I know, it's Bloat and everyone, F Bloat and everything like that. But if you understand how his attacks work and you just practice against him, he's really not that bad. Now, on the flip side, one thing I will say is that this is 100% just how I feel here. Okay, I'm gonna use the Soul Heart and use the Bibble so we can at least get 4 item pedestals and grab all this stuff before we inevitably re-roll all of them. Although I would love the Book of Shadows, but I think this is just gonna be better here. And remember, I'm doing this because we are remaining to have flying in this room right now. That's the only reason why I did that. I went back and got a full charge. Now, that being said, going back to the question of the episode. So yeah, deceptively easy boss. I think Bloat, including Green Bloat. I know that Green Bloat's annoying, and he's definitely the worst Bloat of all Bloats that ever bloated. But he's not that bad. He's not run ending, potentially run ending. Who is potentially run ending, though, is someone that we've already met this, well, I guess technically not this year, but towards the end of last year, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, Green Dookie. I think that Green Duke is one of the most dangerous bosses in the game if you're not careful. If you don't have the required amount of tears or damage to deal with him, he can overwhelm you very, very, very easily. You know, even if you're going after the flies, you can't always just go straight for old Dookie, right? He's always going to be spitting out flies. The more flies that you destroy, the more he's going to produce until he's at his limit, and then the cycle starts over and over again. So, honorable mention obviously goes to my most hated boss in the game, which is actually Red Champion Mega Maw, who is very, very difficult and can really be dangerous if you're on low HP. And also another honorable mention for the deceptively hardest boss that's not a story boss anyway, is absolutely any version of Haunt. I mean, any version of Haunt. Even the base version of Haunt can be very, very scary if you have very bad Eden stats or just very bad stats in general. He can be quite nasty. The movement speed upgrade, absolutely going to be taking that. And oh my goodness. Well, it would be nice if we could get inside of the shop here, but so far we are keyless. I'm not quite sure why, because we have nothing that affects our keys. I'm not going to use the Eternal Desizzle in here. I would love to keep Sulfur, but this is a case where I'm probably not going to do that. Cameo Conception is not something I want or need, and the quarter is just something we can get outside of this, outside of the Devil Deal. We just don't need it. Super Secret Room is there. I know it is. So let's see if we can maybe get a slot machine or something that has a key in it. Or Eternal Heart, maybe? Soul Heart? Nope, just nothing? Okay. So now we got to find the regular secret room, which is probably there. And by there, I mean maybe... No, it can't... Well, I guess it could be there, but it's probably in the elbow. I'm guessing it's in the elbow. It is. And we don't have a key, so I'm going to go clear this last room. Envy has a decent chance to drop a key here. Come on, Envy. You've had a tumultuous year last year. Ready to start anew. New me, new you, new Cardinal Sin. Maybe get some traction and get like a couple pennies or something interesting there. I could have used it in the secret room, I guess. But now it comes down to us getting a key out of this one steel chest here. We're going to use a bomb for it. And obviously we didn't get one. Shocking absolutely nobody, by the way. Satanic Bible and I think this is where we part ways with the Eternal Desizzle. I'm gonna stick to the Book of Revelations, even though we're going to have to deal with the Horsemen. We could get a key out of a combat in here, possibly. This is our last chance. Okay, well now the crystal key has opened up another curse door, so this is going to cost us 3 half soul hearts to get out of. Get a bomb. We're not fast enough to get out that door. And that's the end of the dream right there. So, very lame game, gotta say. Unless we put out a really, truly wild bomb here that would get us a key. I don't think anything can drop from a confessional booth. Especially what I know. Still wasn't a key, though. So, all right. extremely disappointing. Yeah, it's funny game. Here you go. That's something for you and your humor. Very, very, very disappointing to lose out on an item room along with a shop like that. The game just wanted to be kind of a douche. Kind of a douchey move, game. Okay, we got a Tears upgrade here. But, you know, who knows what was inside of that that item room. And if you're wondering why I went to the library first, it's because we had that opportunity there with the Eternal Desizzle. And that's just 4 easy item pedestals that we can roll through. So there's no reason for us not to use our first key in there. I assumed, because since it was at the very start of the floor, that we would have gotten a key somehow, some way, but like I said, it shows you what I know. Very good Tears right here. We just need some damage, and we're going to be on our way. It's not like we're suffering with a lack of stats or anything like this. Okay, we'll do that spider again, I guess. And we're in a good spot here. Despite being blanked on the floor last floor, we still got a Devil Deal. We still came away with the Book of Revelations, which is going to be a very reliable and non-boss sacrificing item. Non-boss item sacrificing item. With the occasional orbital that we have to put up with, but it is what it is. Maybe we get the school bag. Maybe we get the D6 along with that. You know, who knows? We sacrifice a full charge on the Book of Revelations to get into and out of the curse room. Not pay off. We get some flying here. I mean, flying would have saved us a lot of HP on that last floor. Get a golden key. And we are absolutely getting lucky with these crystal door spawns. Key spawns. Plenty of bombs here to be able to hopefully get that HP back. I'm almost tempted to walk over those spikes, but I'm not going to. Got plenty of money here. 51 cents is a large amount of money to have at this stage of the game. Floor 3. Yes, I will take a bomb there. And we should bomb the Keeper here. Not because we're looking for a secret room, but just because we're trying to raise our Devil Deal chance to a very odd 49.4% chance now. Slightly under 50, of course. I think we all know what's going to happen on this floor. There's one downside of Cricket's body is the massive, massive range down that you get. You don't have the range for it. Like on this build, for example, it can be a little bit rough, and that is not the item that we want. Crystal Key, though, opening up another door, and we end up getting the ultra secret room here on the 3rd one of the floor. 4th one of the floor. So Crystal Key looking to maybe hook us up with a red item here. Not just a bunch of hearts, yeah? Not just little Chad, yeah? Yeah? Right? Right? I actually know where the secret room is on this floor. Might be another elbow room. Counterfeit Penny wouldn't be too bad. And we're running out of bombs now. That's kind of a problem. We have the opposite problem that we had on the last floor. We get Pestilence here, non-champion Pestilence. If you ask me what one of the most dangerous bosses is in the entire game, he's totally unassuming, and he shows up early enough to where you don't even think about it. But I've said for years that, and this should have been an honorable mention as well, another extremely, see, I told you. Another extremely deceptively dangerous boss is Headless Horseman. Sanguine Bond, but this is not the Devil Deal. on this floor. This is just a devil deal that was spawned in by E. But Headless Horseman on floor 1. Ah, come on. Headless Horseman on floor 1 is almost a death knell if you have very bad stats. Now, that's not to say that obviously it's just a potentially dangerous situation if you don't have the damage, don't have the mobility. Fighting 2 bosses at once at that stage of your run, very, very, very early on, is dangerous. You get a little bit of damage here thanks to meat, but certainly not it's not a world breaker of a damage upgrade for us, but we get a little bit of HP too. I'm still kind of mad that we got that charge key dropped right on us. There's M. Gonna maybe score the counterfeit penny here again, but that's the 3rd golden poop with no counterfeit penny. Kind of surprising. Although I will say that Crystal Key is doing a fantastic job for us, so we have no real reason of getting rid of it. He's a bro. This might be the secret room south of here. No, actually it can't be, because that would make it adjacent to the boss room, and that is not possible. Despite all the rules that Isaac likes to break itself, that is one rule it will not and cannot break, is that it will not spawn a secret door next to boss room. Obviously, one of the big sort of downsides to Cricket's body, as you've been seeing here, is the jostle physics, as I like to call them. Because of its nature, because of how the tears get delivered after it hits the target or hits the ground, the splash shots can very easily propel things forward as they're running towards Isaac, and that can be a very, very bad thing. So the little micro movements that you see happen every now and then are not exactly conducive with safe play. And it's just something you just have to be aware of. But overall, Cricket's body is what I would consider to be a net positive item. There are some downsides, but not serious enough to be blacklisted, I don't think. Me, anyway. Item rooms continue to disappoint. Sure. Why not? At this point, Chaos, why not? Come on down. And no, unfortunately, this doesn't stop the... this does not stop the static drops from the Book of Revelations whenever the Horsemen show themselves. We might get a chance for our Ultra Secret Room. Let's see what... Let's give Crystal Key a chance here. Now, we still have the option of going to get Sanguine Bond. And it is possible that we could get something interesting there, but at the same time, I really don't think that we need it. I think the Super Secret Room's there. It is. Hey, look at that. Eternal Heart. Nice. Good. That was a nice little bonus pickup there. Everybody working out on your exercise bikes or your treadmills or your elliptical machines? How's your first weekend of workouts going? I've made the commitment to lose about 30 pounds this year and keep it off. That's my goal. I've said in the past that I don't really believe or like resolutions because I think they're dumb. And I'm not saying that the people who do them are dumb. I'm saying the idea, the concept of a New Year's resolution is dumb to me. I think that if you need the calendar to tell you a specific day of the year to finally be that's the trigger, that's the motivator that you needed to do something that betters your life or makes you happier, I think that's a folly. If you wanted something bad enough, like say getting in shape, you would do it. You would just do it. You don't need the calendar to tell you, hey, by the way, it's this point in time. Now we're ready to work now, you know. Sometimes it can be a good motivator, but I feel like it's an inorganic motivator to be motivated doing a New Year's resolution. That's just how I've always kind of felt by it. I am going to absolutely take Speedball after I remove the chance of me getting domed by one of these. Okay, well, screw me then. My point is that if you wanted to start something bad enough, you don't need a motivation. You would do it. You just simply do it. And this is me also talking to myself, but also kind of excusing myself too, because obviously I think everyone wants to be in better physical health, or better mental health. You know, whatever is currently affecting your happiness in life. And for me personally, I do want to lose a little bit of weight. I want to get back in shape. And, you know, just get more active this year. But, you know, with physical therapy and everything, for me, being reminded of some of the things that I can no longer do easily is rough sometimes. And it did serve as a very good motivator, but also a little bit of a demotivator, if that makes sense. And that's kind of always been the big struggle that I've had, is walking into a gym and struggling with weight that I used to warm up with, that was like a nothing weight. That would take knockout drops. Although, speaking of jostle physics, we got some ultimate knockback going on here. My point being is, don't wait till New Year's Day, the next calendar year, to want to start to better your life. Do it today. Do it right now. That kind of stuff. I'm not going to sit here and give you an inspirational speech because I'm not good at them. But at the same time, like I said, it can serve as a very good jump off point. Just say, okay, this is what I've been waiting for. Now I'm going to do it, type thing. And that can work for people too. It certainly does work for a lot of people. It's not for me. You know, if I really wanted to be back in shape bad enough, I would definitely make time for it, no matter what's going on. And I do, but I also have a lot of stuff that goes on that I prioritize, and the idea of getting back into working out and stuff, while it's a nice idea, it's not necessarily conducive with a logical idea for me. Given how many things I have, how many cookie jars I've got my hand in. There's only one, really. Somehow, some way, we still have a chance. I don't know how, but we have a very, very slight chance of getting boss rush here. But that's probably, yes. That's, yeah. The knockback of KO drops, plus you entered into the chaos of Cricket's body, or that is Cricket's body. Yeah, it's gonna be very difficult to dodge around some of these jostles. They'd be jostling my jimmies, or whatever it's called. I don't know old British sayings. We did find the mom fight, but unfortunately we don't have the Fool card. So surprisingly, though, we did have a chance, considering how long that second floor took us there. That's impressive. It shows you that our damage, despite not really, oh my gosh, despite not really changing a whole lot, it's still on point here with Cricket's body. It's doing work. Okay, that is a huge all stats up there. A sausage gives you one of the best true all stats up in the entire game, and you usually only find it in the secret room. So, but now this brings up an interesting conundrum here. We cannot re-roll at this point, because of sausage. So recognizing what you can and cannot do, even if those avenues were once open to you and they're now not, is important in Isaac. To recognize the fact that, okay, well, we got an item that we really wanted. It's a S tier item, fantastic all the way, but there is a slight downside in that if we, for whatever reason, needed to re-roll, we cannot, not even for fun. Why? Because we know what the item pool is that it always appears in, which in this case is the secret room pool. You might be asking yourself, well, what does that matter? Well, because if we re-roll, we're going to get a secret room item. And that secret room item could be either Missing No, or even worse, in the worst of the worst case scenarios, TM Trainer. And that's what I hate about TM Trainer itself, is that that item is so dangerous and so unstable that it prevents you from doing things on a strategic level that you might have to do in the future. Now, of course, there's nothing saying that you can't reroll with a secret room item. I just do not recommend it. If you're trying to streak, or if you're just trying to win. If you're just trying to have fun, then just ignore me. You know, just ignore what I'm saying. Ignore my playstyle. Because my playstyle is not necessarily built for everybody. I've said that for many years, and you know, it's not conducive with fun sometimes. And in this case, when the only objective here is to win at the end of the day. But obviously, I still have fun. You know what I mean, though. We're not getting like, whoa, kooky, wacky, crazy, reroll with a secret room item. You know, that kind of stuff. Instead, it's we want to win through any means necessary, and we're going to maximize the chance of us winning a run, regardless of what people say, think, or do. That is directly countered by the presence of TM Trainer in the game. Now, luckily for everyone who plays this game is not tuned around me or my wants or desires, and I think that the entire world rejoice at that, and they probably already do. So it's my job just to kind of explain to everybody, like, okay, well, this is the reason why I don't do this. This is the reason why I don't fight angel statues when I don't need to or want to. This is the reason why I don't reroll with secret room items in my inventory. Sense is not going to help us out here. We could... no, we can't. Not anymore. I'm going to say we could go into the boss trap room and see about getting another bonus boss item in there, then getting out of there with the pool card. But remember, we've got chaos now, so any item can appear in any pool at this point. But no, that doesn't affect any of your rerolls. However, it does affect the origin item pool, where you got that item from chaos. In other words, if chaos gives you a secret room item like sausage, for example, it will count as a secret room item. Double shield here is great for Virgo. I don't care about the angel statues, and we'll head on down. And Curse the Blind. So until we get a full charge here, we are at danger of losing a Devil Deal or Angel Deal. Now, I don't mind getting Angel Deals at this point because there's no such thing as a Devil Deal anymore in this run, thanks to Chaos. That is precisely why we can't take any item with Curse the Blind now, especially a boss item. It's the fear of the unknown. You know, with Chaos, if blind items show up and you do what I do and you just want to win, then taking blind items with Chaos really is playing Russian roulette. You're gonna get burned, and it's a dangerous proposition. I only tell people this because we have been getting a lot of new subscribers here, and you know, and I've heard all the criticisms before of my playstyle. I don't care. You know, I don't need to justify, and nobody needs to justify how you play games, right? But in my position where I do these videos and tens of thousands of people watch me play every single day, I feel it's more responsible for me to kind of explain the methods to the playstyle. More so than just writing it off like, oh, it's whatever, you know. And people, people are like, why does he play like this? How come he doesn't take pills? How come he doesn't do this? How come he doesn't like this item? How come he won't take my favorite item, which is this item? That sort of stuff. Virgo shield rocking like crazy here. Virgo, by the way, gives us neutral or positive pills. It's nice. And we go into polar invincibility mode here, which is also great. Not mind another. Oh no, this is the Virgo shield. The reason why it's lasting so much longer. Obviously, we don't need any more money on this run, but could have, and we also have gone the wrong way. Super Secret might be here. It doesn't really matter though, because even if we find it, I'm not gonna take any items in there. I bet you're gonna be southwest, aren't you? Yep. Green Larry is another deceptively dangerous boss if you're not careful, depending on the arena that you spawn in. I'm gonna do my best to attempt to avoid red hearts because I want to stay on Polaroid invincibility. As kind of like our backup in case Virgo doesn't go off. We get in trouble. We are destined to get a ball of bandage here though. Oh my gosh, it opened up a secret shop. Look at this. Wow. Where are you? Empress Machine. Okay. All right, calm down, game. And also, it's my job to kind of just explain what I do, But for people who just play the game, you don't have to explain why you do it. It's like it's because I want to. Someone tries to besmirch you for playing the game the way that you want to, then probably not somebody you want to be talking to anyway. Oh, why aren't you playing it like this? Don't you know you're doing this wrong? You're using that card in your deck? Yeah. What is this? Look up. Thank you, Matthias. I actually spoke to Matthias for New Year's. Seriously, one of my favorite people. I say it all the time, and I will continue to say it. Matthias Bossi is one of my most favorite people in this world that I've ever had the pleasure meeting. Well, not meeting, but speaking to, being associated with. Do you ever get a chance to listen to Matthias speak about music, just podcasts or whatever? He is going to be. You're going to be overwhelmed with how awesome and talented he is. As well as Ed, as well as Zombolus, everyone associated with Isaac. Have a fond place in my heart. Can't guarantee that I have a fond place in their hearts, but double orange dookie. We can actually get into the boss trap room here. And we get the pact. I'm gonna zip on out of there though, because I just don't feel like doing that room. The pact is going to give us a nice damage upgrade, something we've been desperately kind of needing here. And another tears up, but we are at the soft cap now of 5.5. If you're wondering why 5.5 is there, it's because remember we have Cricket's body. It raises the cap by a half point. There's a sack room here, but I don't really care about. It's weird that freezing it lives stops the spawns of the eye lasers. Let's see if we can pass the 79.7% Devil Deal chance. Guessing probably not, but you never know. Is it me being a doubter, or it's just me knowing my luck? Guppy's tail doesn't really matter at this point. We are going to the chest. Angry Fly would give us 2 or 3 of Beelzebub, but I guess I'll take Guppy's tail. We have 7 keys, so we can get a little bit of advantage from that. We literally just missed Hush, too. The Hush door was open and then it closed as we were deciding in there. Devil deal. Not that I was going to fight Hush anyway, but... I will say that going back to the workout thing, I can never start new workouts on any day other than a Monday. Even if it's just walking, even if it's just doing, the exercises that I learned from rehab and stuff. I can't do it without it being Monday. I don't know why. One of those blocks, But I feel like I did learn a lot about strengthening, especially stabilizer muscles, from PT, and the exercises that I can do at home are very easy to do. Like I certainly don't need to continue to go to a facility to do it. It's like I said in the first week of PT. At the end of last year, it's like old lady exercises. We're doing lots of bends, lots of stretches, lots of mobility exercises and stuff like that. Not really strength training, which is a different type of training than I'm used to. But it's challenging in its own right. Like the balance board, that was one of my favorite things. That was one of my favorite new things to do, is the balance board. And this was there were 2 different ones that I used. Both of them were cool. One of them was just a regular balance board. It's about the size of think of like a circular skateboard that pivots on one point that's stuck to the ground, and it's designed to make you have to engage stabilizers in your body to balance yourself to where you're not resting on the floor. Or you could do exercises, which is like tap the front and then tap the back, but control your descent though. And that was very rough for me at first because I'd never done those kind of exercises, which is part of the reason why I'm in the state that I'm in right now. But over time, I got really easy. My body adapts, thankfully, really quickly to stuff that I do, and I was able to get it down. And then it became one of my favorite workouts, was doing the balance board stuff, the taps and the balancing and just the holds. I was able to do squats. So there was another one that was called a Bonzu ball or something like that. It was another type of balance board that had a inflated half. It was small, but an inflated half exercise ball that on the bottom. Instead of it being just a hard point, it was an actual exercise ball that you would balance on. And on that one, I had to do squats. I had to do like 3 sets of 20 body weight squats on that without touching the ground. And I was able to do that, surprisingly. And I loved it. I was like, yeah, this is the right amount of challenge that I like. It's something that I can do, but something that I can't just breeze through. You got to think about it. You got to kind of engage parts of your body that you're not really concentrating on. And I like that. It was really cool. And then there's a lot of like exercise ball stuff that I did, which was like bridges, and I would put the table was called a plinth, the therapy table, and which is just basically just a wide-bodied elevated bench that you lay on, a therapy table. And we would put the medicine ball up there, and then I would put my feet, depending on the exercise, I put my feet towards the end of the ball, and then just do like rolls, like roll it back and forth, or stretches, or figure fours, or and that stuff felt really good for the places that were bothering me during that time. And those I am looking forward to doing at home. I have been doing them at home. But it's not like it's. I also just kind of miss strength training, you know. What game are we playing again? It's been a good run. There's not really a whole lot to talk about here in terms of the strategy layer. Chaos. I don't know if Chaos was really a great pickup or not. It feels like it was kind of. I mean, we did get Sausage. We did get the Pact. Although the Pact did show up in a pool that it. No, actually, no, it can't. We got that in the boss trap room. Yeah. So we got the Sausage. We got the Pact. That's basically it. Chaos at the sacrifice of our devil deals, and weighing that between is that worth it or not. It kind of just depends on the items you get. Dad's Key. I'm gonna use the world card here. Dad's Key. I don't think we need to go. I don't think we need to fight Mega Stand. Could we? Yeah. Do I want to? No. Double Adversary is good for practicing pursuit angles and exit strategies. So you know that whenever I look at Adversary, I take note of where he's at and say, okay, my exit, my escape vector, whatever you want to call it, the direction I need to go to is this direction, is up or down or left or right. Jacob's Ladder is huge for Cricket's body. It's unfortunate. Oh, it's unfortunate all this stuff is coming down at the end of the run, but you know what can you do? Anima Sola, you okay? That would be a great feature of Anima Sola. Depending. Oh my God, we decapitated the poor lad. Oh God, Chad looked like he was in dire pain. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, C Dizzle. I'm sorry. That was terrifying. It would be cool if Anima Sola adjusted its damage based on how far the chains stretch. And that would also give you a good reason to get something like knockback, like Pisces, or in this case, knockback tiers, KO drops. I think that's an interesting concept. I'll bring it up with Zombola, see what he says. He'll probably say something like, that's interesting, but then it'll get shot down by somebody. But you never know. You couldn't even see the chain links at that point. Oh, it's so good. Absolute menace of a combo right here. For S's and G's, I am just going to go check the secret room here. Secret room's been disappointing on this run, not gonna lie. Oh no, we can't do it to my boy again. Give him a merciful end, please. So we are gonna get the dub here on a Saturday. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation, even though it wasn't too Isaac-centric. You know, it was just a good run overall. It wasn't anything terribly powerful. Cricket's body did a lot of the heavy lifting early on and towards the end game, and you know, I think it's a good showing of what it can do without being totally eye-blindingly impossible to see everything, which is sometimes the problem of Cricket's body, depending on the tier effects. So thank you for watching again, everyone. One final time, Happy New Year. I hope your new weekends are going off to a great start here. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the like button. And of course, if this was recommended to you here on YouTube, then make sure you subscribe and ring the notification bell if you enjoy daily content for The Binding of Isaac and other indie games, and also other games that I like to play here every single day. We'd love to have you around and join the mosh pit. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. As always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. I'd like to thank some patrons of mine like Full Metal Johnny, Adarishi Datenshi, Flashback 007, Kipper Slapper, and One Bad Fed. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at Patreon. patreon.com/Invicta.